In another dominant triple-double performance, Luka Doncic was dishing out dimes all night. One of his best? A slick feed to Jackson Hayes, who threw it down with authority. Luka's court vision was on full display. Always probing, always looking for that extra pass. His pace never wavers, and his ability to control the game is elite. On the other end, LeBron James was locking in. A full-court lob found him perfectly, showing he still has hops and court awareness. Rudy Gobert, a three-time All-Star and multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year, tried to anchor the paint, but the Lakers adjusted smartly, taking LeBron off the ball, letting him cut and finish instead. LeBron found Rui Hachimura in rhythm, and Rui buried a triple to keep the scoreboard moving. Minnesota's offense was struggling. Mike Conley led them with only 6 points early on, and when he's your top scorer, you know buckets are hard to come by. Still, the Wolves fought. Back to LeBron. 3 on the shot clock, and he drains. A deep one. The King was feeling it from long range, splashing jumpers like it was 2013 again. Austin Reaves made a highlight-worthy hustle play, tapping a loose ball perfectly to Rui for another clean bucket. Ant Edwards and Reaves collided at midcourt, slowing things down while McDaniels continued his cold shooting night. 2 for 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from deep. LeBron kept the pressure on, muscling under the rim, staying with it, and tipping. In his own miss, vintage grit. Naz Reid tried to shake loose on the other end with a crafty spin and a fake, but the Lakers' defense closed in. Another lob to Hayes, another dunk. Austin Reaves attacked the rim, finally breaking a cold streak. After missing 10 straight, the game stayed tight down the stretch. LeBron drew a foul under the rim with under 2 minutes left. Shot clock winding down, and LeBron spun into a fadeaway jumper. Buckets. The crowd roared. The heat was on. Mike Conley, though, kept the Wolves alive. He nailed another 3, giving him 11 points in the second half. Minnesota's second-half game plan was simple: fire from deep. They saw weaknesses on the perimeter and capitalized, but the Lakers had their chances. One possession slipped through as a missed layup gave Minnesota life. Down 14, the Lakers pushed back. Jalen Hood-Schifino connected with Jamison, who swung it back to LeBron. He surveyed the floor, worked the screen, and went back to Vincent. After some scrappy offensive boards, Vanderbilt finally cleaned up the mess, a putback that sparked a little hope. It was the kind of game full of momentum, swings, big shots, and playoff-like intensity. Classic battle. Hustle on the glass always pays off, and both teams were battling hard for boards. Naz Reid set a screen for Edwards, who pulled up but couldn't connect. The Lakers secured the rebound. Despite a tough shooting night from Ant, Minnesota still held control of the game. Then came the spark. Another deep bomb from the Lakers' sharpshooter. He tied the franchise playoff record for three-pointers, catching fire from beyond the arc and refusing to cool down. Minnesota tried to answer. Conley to Alexander Walker. Back to Reid, who set another screen. But again, it clanked off the rim. The Lakers, trailing by 9, kept their composure. Vincent found Vanderbilt, who kicked it to Hachimura, but the shot didn't fall. It was a rough night for Rui, whose cold streak was hurting LA. Alexander Walker lost it out of bounds, giving the Lakers another shot. Coach J.J. Redick called a timeout. On the sideline, Allie LaForce caught the huddle moment. J.J. told the squad, "Everyone thinks this game's over. Just go out and let it rip. Let's see what we can do." That loose, fearless message fired up the bench. After the timeout, Luka Doncic brought the ball up for LA. Still down 9, he worked it to Hayes, who handed off to Hachimura. LeBron tried to make something happen, but Julius Randle came up big, on the glass again. That was his 8th rebound. Strong presence all night. James answered on defense, though, locking up the paint. The Lakers were shooting just 38% in the fourth, and Rui continued to struggle, missing another look. The Timberwolves stayed up by 9. Then came a dagger. Randle stepped back and drilled a 3. That gave him 9 points in the second, half alone. The Wolves' game plan was crystal clear: space the floor and rain down threes. They were executing it perfectly. Transition time again. Edwards got out on the break, caught the pass, and threw it down with style. His feel for fast breaks is elite. He knows how to fill the lane and finish with authority. Doncic stayed poised. He passed to Hayes, who gave it to Reeves, then inside to LeBron. A quick dish back to Luka, and he went up through contact and won. He made it look easy, as always. Luka stepped to the line, knocked down the free throw, and added to his growing legacy. He's got every tool you need in a future MVP: vision, control, toughness, and clutch genes. Gobert tried to respond, but missed a clean look. Minnesota couldn't keep control of the boards late, and they were lucky the lead was still theirs. It came down to late-game execution now. Julius Randle pulled up again from deep, splash. Conley fed him perfectly for the assist, giving Randle 5 dimes on the night. He was spacing the floor and making all the right reads. That 3 extended the Timberwolves' lead and showed exactly how they wanted to finish, spreading out the defense, hitting perimeter shots, and letting the clock work in their favor. Tonight, it was all about the long-range game, and the Timberwolves brought the heat. From deep, they were lights out, and Anthony Edwards was leading the charge. But the Lakers had an answer. Rui Hachimura stepped up with a surprise 3, knocking it down confidently. Not the guy you'd expect to hit the momentum shifter, but Rui was locked in and ready. Still, Minnesota kept control. Edwards hit another tough shot, showing no signs of letting up. The Wolves were determined to keep the pressure on and continued feeding the hot hand. If it's working, keep working it. That's the playoff mindset, Doncic answered back. With 12 points in the second half alone, Luka calmly dropped a jumper off the front iron. Nothing fancy, just smart offense. He adapts to any defense, and he's always dangerous with the ball in his hands. But then came the highlight of the night. Anthony Edwards threw it down with pure force, a thunderous dunk that brought the arena to its feet. His explosiveness is unreal, and he delivers every night. Luka stayed aggressive, working against Conley, drawing the double, and still getting a clean look. It bounced off, though, and Minnesota regained possession. They had led by as many as 18, and they weren't done yet. Edwards pulled up from outside and nailed another one. He had 12 in the quarter, capping off a monster performance. This was a statement Game 1 win for the Timberwolves. They found their rhythm from beyond the arc early and never looked back. Every time the Lakers tried to rally, the Wolves hit back harder with threes and smart execution. A 10-0 start gave Minnesota control from the opening tip. Now the key is keeping that energy heading into Game 2. In the playoffs, you can't afford to relax or assume anything's locked up. It's about momentum and urgency. One of the unsung heroes, Mike Conley. He made his presence felt on both ends, pressuring ball handlers, jumping passing lanes, and racking up key steals. His hustle was a difference-maker throughout. In the final minutes, Reeves tried to respond. He used a screen from Hayes and got a clean jumper over McDaniels. Buried it. The Lakers were still fighting, but the Timberwolves had already set the tone. Game 1 belonged to Minnesota.